Alf, another day, another video. Fanatics, Topps, things are happening in the world of Topps baseball cards, something that we have never seen internationally. Things are going down. Before I dive in, huge thanks to today's video sponsor, Pristine Auction. You want baseball cards, football cards, sports memorabilia, non-sports, pop culture items? You want to head over to Pristine Auction, and I've got $25 off your first auction victory with the SCD code. Link in the video description. And if you want to consign with Pristine, you get a special deal if you mention the Sports Card Dad, so make sure to take advantage. PSA, tell a friend. You might have graded with PSA, but maybe you have a friend that hasn't yet. $25 off your first order, one card minimum with the SCD25 promo code. Don't hesitate, take advantage to spread the word on the $25 off code. Might have seen in the news, or you might not have, but Topps did a special event over in Tokyo, and it was the largest special event that they have done in terms of sales revenues. More than $40 million of fan gear and trading card sales, according to Sports Collectors Daily, making it the best-selling special event in company history. Company says more than 12,000 Topps Series 1 Japan exclusive mega boxes sold out within hours on the company's website in Japan. It's no secret that trading cards are very popular over in Asia. There's a lot of huge basketball card collectors that are over in China specifically. But then, of course, Pokemon originates from Japan. So, of course, you have a ton of TCG over there, but also Ohtani, huge in Japan, absolutely massive. This is a huge gain from the $21 million of revenue they did going back a couple of years ago for this event. And so the international space growing for trading card companies and grading companies. The Murakami collection, according to Sports Collectors Daily, again, launched on March 7th, sold out on the Fanatics app in less than 1 hour, with the majority of products selling out in the first 15 minutes. I saw a post on IG, I think it was Leighton Sports Cards, the breaker Leighton, that was talking about Fanatics Fest filling up with more dealers. I'm really intrigued about going to Fanatics Fest this year. It's the same weekend as Heroes Con, a big comic book convention that I typically go to in Charlotte. I think that Neo might be going over to Fanatics Fest on that weekend and skipping out. I might join over and check out Fanatics Fest. I didn't go last year. It's in New York City again. I love New York City. I met my wife in New York City. So maybe we'll make it a date weekend or something and swing into Fanatics Fest. That sounds actually like a lot of fun. So maybe we will join over there. But it looks to be that there's a lot of dealers signing up again to go to Fanatics Fest. And I wonder what sorts of installations they're going to have there again this year. But I want to talk again. Let's just go back a little bit to all of the sales with this event that was there over in Japan. We have seen this, the big companies, whether that be Collectors Universe, now Collectors, but PSA in particular, growing internationally in a big way. It makes me think that, especially just on the grading side, that the numbers that we see today for the monthly gem rate numbers, that they are going to be very low compared to what we see in the future, just simply based on the fact that there's going to be a lot more access to PSA grading overseas. And we're looking at across different continents. They're also broadening out to Europe, and there's going to be a lot of different options. There's going to be availability that there never was before. The infrastructure is being built out now. And I think that what that means is in 2, 3, 5 years from now, that you have a huge global customer base where really the majority of the customers for trading card grading have been in North America for a long time. Again, now that you have Michael Rubin at the helm of Fanatics, and with all of his connection with the players, with pop culture folks, with the owners of these teams, with the commissioners of these leagues, there's going to be never before seen access to these players, these teams. It's happening. It's happening all over the place. And so it's really interesting time for trading cards. This sleepy little trading card hobby has exploded into a global conglomerate. Collectibles as a whole, we look across the collectibles space, it's just getting larger and larger. The demand doesn't seem to be slowing down. I am very curious to see what the National is going to look like in Chicago this year. I've heard some people say that they're not going, but man, it just feels like a tidal wave of new people, just like we saw last year, will be heading over to the National Sports Collectors Convention over there in Rosemont. I got an Airbnb with my buddies. Instead of trying to fight the hotels and try to get a deal and all that sort of a thing, we just got an Airbnb that's nearby. We can all pack in. It'll cost me $250 for the 4 or 5 days that I'm there. Fantastic. Works great. That's a popular venue, although the one thing I did like about Cleveland is there's a lot of seating over there, which there is not a lot of seating unless they change things around. In Chicago, it's not at all. It's, you're sitting on the ground if you're sitting down somewhere. But that venue as a whole is awesome. There's a lot of food nearby. There's a lot of access to different things. It's very easy to get to trade nights and that sort of thing. So Chicago National Sports Card Convention is going to be absolutely nuts. Fanatics Fest, I'm very curious to see, does it expand from last year? Are they doing things differently? What is that going to look like in the summertime? I haven't decided if I'm going to go yet, but man, it just looks like from all accounts, whether that be sports card shows, trading card releases, everything is selling out. Auctions are selling cards at all-time highs. It is a wild time. It's funny, again, we talk about it, but coming off the back of the pandemic where it was like, oh man, there's all these people getting out of the hobby because of money lost on huge sales. And there was that. There certainly was. But then there was just a lot more that came in on the back end. And I think there's still more that are coming in based on my comment section and people telling me, hey, I got back in 3 months ago or 6 months ago. I think that there is a assumption that, you know, everybody that's here now was also here in 2020 and 2021. It's just not the case. It's not. There's a whole new, brand new customer base that's entering this space. Feels like daily, weekly, monthly. And I think that we've got some runway here, especially with the ascension of TCG as well. Pokemon, hell, PSA is grading more Pokemon cards than they are sports cards. If you would have told people that 3 years ago, they would have thought that you were absolutely nuts. But TCG, especially Pokemon, has turned into a very high percentage of PSA and many of these grading companies' overall business. So TCG sports cards, I think they're actually working together because I think that it brings people to shows for different reasons. You know, kids might go to shows for the TCG cards, but then if it's also a sports card show, then the dads, whoever, they can go and they can check out the baseball cards they used to collect growing up. I think that they actually work hand in hand. I've heard people say, oh, they should separate these shows and make, you know, the Pokemon show over here and the sports card show over there. I actually disagree with that. I think that they actually work together, bring people together. Sure, they might be competing for some of the same dollars, but I still think it's good cross-pollination for everybody to enjoy themselves. Friends, let me know your thoughts. Everything is selling out. What are we going to do? Stay healthy, stay awesome. I'll talk to you again later.